Yes, hello. I am James Rowlands, and today it's a WNR496, and it's a very special show. I'm not alone. Luckily, I have a pleasure to be joined by, up first, by my side for every WWE and AEW show, is, of course, a fantastic Jaxie Scarlett. How's it going, Jaxie?
Hello. Happy Wednesday, everyone. All's going well. How are you, James?
I'm fantastic. You know, we haven't done a midweek pod in what feels like months, and it is. So it is nice to do something a little bit different, you know, knowing that we've got Crown Jewel coming up. But again, it's nice to be different. But what I was going to say to you is today's a very special show because you are actually going to be my co-host, as it was today. I mean, you guys normally, don't get me wrong, I don't know if it's host or guest or whatever it is, but you're going to be a co-host because you're going to tell us exactly what this episode is about, because at the moment, all people know is WNR496. So what are we doing on today's show?
We are discussing a very special indie promotion that took place recently called 10 Years of Chaos. And this was an event put on by Pro Wrestling Chaos. And, you know, Gina and I had the absolute pleasure of being offered some tickets to attend in person. So that leads me into introducing our resident genius, which is that of Gina, which I am absolutely not going to sing a song for her. So we will have to bypass that.
I'll tell you something then. Sorry to interrupt. And I know I said you're hosting, but I'm cutting straight in because...
Are you going to sing? Have you already got a song?
I'm going to sing. Of course I've got a song. As you can hear, my voice is better than it was, but still. This is Gina. She's been here 2 years now. Happy anniversary, Gina. We'll talk about that in a second. But this is your song. Smelly cat, what are they feeding you? Smelly cat, it's not your fault. They won't take you to the vet. You're obviously not their favourite pet. Smelly cat, it's not your fault. It's our own smelly cat. It's Gina. How's it going?
Yay! I asked for this song personally. I'm so happy with it because I am the WNR's smelly cat. What do you do, gang?
Oh, I know that Monty is so upset for missing out on that.
He's definitely going to be gutted to have missed it, but oh well. Either way, I'm happy to be here, and I'm so excited to promote this Pro Wrestling Chaos event. It was so good and so fun that me and Jax decided to bring our non-wrestling little sister along. I call her little sister. She's more of a enforcer. Ooh. I'm going to hand it over to you, James, to do a nice introduction for her, and then we'll bring her on.
Well, I've got nothing prepared in my notes, but yes, the WNR's own enforcer and very special guest for the very first time on the WNR podcast. Here we go. It is Shay. How's it going?
Hello, what's up?
Now, I'm very in your face. I am sorry that you have to deal with this for hopefully maybe not a long time, but I've got a few questions if you don't mind.
Okay.
Do you get bullied by these two like I do?
Do you know what? They try. They really do try double team and tag team, shall we say, in wrestling lingo. They try and tag team me. So it's kind of like a triple threat, but they tag team me. And it never works out. I'm always coming out the champion, heavyweight champion.
Well, do you know what?
Hey, that is false news. That is false news.
I think I found my new tag team partner. I think we got a undisputed title match coming up, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I'm sick of it. For 2 years back. You know that. It's been horrible. I can finally have someone else here to talk to about it.
Yes, well, you're not alone. They do tag team me. They try a double team, but I just keep knocking them back out of the ring. So,
well, can I just actually also point out the fact that we have always referred to this little sister of ours as the enforcer, because she's probably the only one who could put up with our shit. So I have no regrets.
No,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
Yeah,
I
for
will
the
say
longest.
Shay is the shortest, but don't let the shortest one get past you,
Hey, it's
because
not-
she can hit hard, man.
Hey, what I'm saying, like, I've got a friend here, so it's nice now, you know. And Jaxie, don't say anything because you're the villain. All right, like, don't forget what happened in our last show. Like the emails I
Listen,
got,
you're
you know.
what? Listen, you're always the one that is trying to choose to wind me up, and I'm just the one that ends up succumbing to it, and then, you know, giving
No,
you shit over
I'm
it.
talking
But
about that. I'm
you
talking about what you did with
definitely
Gina.
lie.
What you did with Gina.
No,
Yes, people
No.
are upset, man.
no, they're not.
Yeah, you turned
Look
heel.
what you,
I swear
Yeah.
she lies.
Shay. In case you didn't listen to our podcast the other week, Gina decided to air out the story where we were in school and I had to choose someone for cooking class. And I chose Gina, and then the teacher asked me to choose someone else. So I did. And she told everyone. So now I'm enemy
You're
number one.
hated. You are hated.
Yeah.
I remember this story. I do
Oh.
because I definitely
Yeah.
remember this story. Yeah, no, Jaxie, you didn't choose Gina.
I did in the
No,
beginning.
she didn't.
You. Thank
Listen,
you. She didn't choose me.
didn't.
And yes, the teacher told you to choose someone else from the other side of the class. So what did I do? I picked my ass up and moved to the other side of the class.
Oh, it breaks my heart hearing this story again.
I thought I was going to have a bit of a, you know, maybe someone on my side here, but Monty's not here. So let's move conversation
No,
real quick.
To be
shall we?
fair, at the
If it
moment,
makes well,
I'm saying it goes Monty, Gina, and then Jaxie and me. See, that is not a safe position. All right.
Well, we'll soon see where Shay sits. It sits in this hierarchy.
look,
Yes.
I am gonna be the most loved because everyone's gonna think, oh, cute little Shay. She's only 5'3", sweet and petite. Okay,
No,
so
watch
I
by
don't
the
know
end
the
of this
fact height
podcast.
keeps getting
She's
mentioned.
like the easy one.
Something's gonna happen here. Like, I get punched in the screen or something. Like, I don't I'm a good 5'10". Go on, call it. I don't know. I don't know. Last time I did my height.
5'10" is still good. I think that's the same height as our dad. So
No, I'm
yeah.
lying to you. I'm shorter than that, lady.
Oh, okay. Oh, don't worry.
No, I'm not.
Okay, he's fabricating there, Shay. You'll
Yeah.
soon learn that James likes to fabricate a lot of
How dare
I'm
you?
bullshit.
Is it have a go at
Bullshit.
James Pod? It's Jaxie's the bad person here. Right.
Hey,
So,
listen, we
no,
just heard me get grilled. It's your turn now, James.
no, what I say is, what's nice here is you've nearly beat my record. I've had more family members do this pod, but they didn't want to. So again, it's quite nice that we have got another member of the clan as well. I forced my dad to do it. It was one of the worst podcasts ever. I think it's like go back if people listening. Honestly, like, you know, and I mean, Jax, you've gone through quite a few people now, like you and I. Not in that way, but do you know what I'm saying? Even with like select match pod and stuff like this, you know. So it's you know, different.
Yeah. I think it's great to see all of these different collaborations that we can actually pull together and bring together, you know, different like-minded people that wouldn't necessarily have had a chance to voice their opinion on this. So it's very exciting from not just myself and Gina's point of view in inviting our little sister to come and join us on this pod, but it's also a way of introducing you, James, to our youngest sister, and introducing sort of having this pod be one that will show you sort of a new fan and their opinion of sort of a live wrestling event that may not have necessarily seen any live wrestling before. So this is going to be an interesting one, I think.
Yeah. Say, Shay, I mean, what is your experience with wrestling? You know, I mean, how long have you been? Are you a die-hard, you know, kind of wrestling fan, or is it more kind of, you know, just in passing?
Okay, well, let me paint you a picture, okay? Let's go way back when. So it all started out when I was forced to watch wrestling by Jaxie and Gina, because they were like, no, we get to have the remote so we can watch what we want on TV. They would never let me have the remote. So I was basically forced to watch whatever they wanted
Friday
to watch.
nights were our night. Okay.
What? No,
Friday nights were our night.
No, Friday nights we all got an hour each. And that's why, like, we went to I remember, because we went to, was it Blockbusters? And we each got to pick out like a game or so as well. And you would do the same with PlayStation. You would always be like, no, we're partnering up, because there was only 2 players. It was PS2 back then. So they were like,
don't make me out to be a villain. Don't make me out to be a villain.
Look, you're both twins. You
were
gotta deal with
happy.
it. So,
You were happy to give us your hour slot, though, sis.
no, I was not every bloody week. Are you actually kidding me? You're joking. You're joking. JK, just kidding. No, I'm not interested with that. But so yeah, anyway, it started off with that, and so I was forced to watch wrestling. Then they would want to play wrestling, so like actually play fight, and they would force me to be the ref. And I was like, but I don't want to be a ref. I want to fight too. And they're like, no, Shay, like, no, you need to do that. You need to be the ref, because who's gonna pin? Who's gonna tap hands? I was always the ref, and I didn't like it.
Oh, Shay, I'm sorry.
This is a whole
it was
new
either
side
that.
of Jaxie and Gina. This is unbelievable.
I kind of forgot about it, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I've got more from
the
Shay in the
ref or
first
bailiff.
12 minutes than I have from Gina for like 2 years. Like, keep going, Shay. What do you do? Well, come on. Tell me.
No, just keep it short and sweet.
Oh god. Well, it's supposed to be a short story, but I mean,
We've
it
got
goes
time.
into depth. It goes into depth. But no, I was either the ref or the bailiff, so it was.
And the bailiff was there to take away one of us if, you know, being twins, we had no limit on how hard we would hit each
No
other.
DQ.
So, you know, it was no
DQ.
24/7.
Yeah.
So the bailiff would have to go and run and grab father if neither of us would stop punching each other.
No.
Brilliant.
I will say that we did. There was. I do remember vaguely. There was this one time when all 3 of us did try and gang up on my dad and tried to wrestle him, but he just demolished us like horribly. It was honestly, if you saw it, you'd be like, "What is the point? What is the point of all 3 of you trying?"
Yeah.
So yeah, that was quite funny. But yeah, that's when it all basically started. To kind of like let me know the wrestling world. And back then I did have a massive crush on Chris Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
Who didn't?
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, I'm not good, like, he's
He was-
still
this was
right.
during- Yeah, he's this was during his Y2J era back then, I think, because I remember you were still quite young, and I think you had named like one of your teddies Jericho as well.
Oh, I did. I
And
remember.
we kept on using Jericho as, you know, like practice.
I know. See, this is exactly what I mean. Try and like tag team me and my Teddy Jericho. I was like, how dare you? How rude. And he couldn't fight back. It was just a teddy. So it was all on me.
I remember it being like Friday nights, and sometimes Shay wouldn't be in the room, but as soon as Jericho came out, we would just, start screaming, Shay, Jericho's coming out, and she would bombard down those stairs just to come and see him. So she wasn't as much of a big fan of wrestling as Jaxie and I, but she definitely, I don't want to speak for you, Shay, but I feel like we definitely like bonded as sisters a little bit when we were watching wrestling together as kids. And you did like, the greats like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, for example.
Triple H was awesome.
You liked the Hardy Lita,
Yes, loved the Hardy Boys and Lita. That was amazing. And I remember you guys, like Jaxie and Gina, I remember them being like, we'll be the Hardy Boys, and Gina was like, I'll be Jeff. Because they each had their favorites, and I was like, I'll be Lita because I'm the girl anyway.
Yeah,
it just worked out in your favor.
It did. So I was happy with that anyway. But yeah, no, I do remember like Chyna as well. I really do, and she was awesome. She was probably one of my favorites as well.
Yeah. I think she's always going to be. Yeah, always will be a fan favorite, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, when it comes more like childhood memories and stuff, apart from when you are getting assaulted by, you know, your sisters, it does sound quite nice, you know.
Oh,
but do you watch wrestling?
Yeah, in a perfect world.
Yeah, but do you watch it regularly now, or just catch up
In
with
a perfect world.
what's going on? You know?
I'm not going to mention her collarbone because that would definitely ruin my reputation.
What reputation? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, so James was just asking whether or not you keep up to date with any regular wrestling now, which I'm pretty sure you don't, unless you just get sent stuff from us, right?
Yeah. It's if you guys send me stuff, just kind of like on the off chance of like new wrestlers, and then you're telling me about certain things, like more or less, I'm really not. I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily like a girly girl, but I do like pay attention more to like the outfits that people wear, and whenever Jaxie and Gina kind of see something and they're like, oh my god, look at so and so, she's a wrestler, just FYI Shay, she's a wrestler, but look at her outfit, I thought that it kind of reminded me of you because it's blue, kind of thing. So it would be something like that. I'm like, oh yeah, that's cute. So they would kind of fill me in certain things, and then
everything to do with the Usos and Solo Sikoa, we send to her and we take it out on her. So when Solo Sikoa decided to go ahead and turn on Jimmy, I took that personally, James, and I did not talk to Shay for a whole day, and I told her that I was mad at her for something that Solo did.
Yeah, but
which I was like, what the fuck? What the hell? I was like, I haven't seen this. I don't know what's happening. You looking at me as if like, I don't understand why you care so much. Like, what the fuck? Why blaming me? I had no idea what was happening. So no, that was uncalled for.
It panics me that I am literally Paul Heyman in that situation. But again, I'll probably take that as a career, you know. There's no doubt about it. So, again, Shay, just one question then. So, and not to be rude here, you know, as I never am.
No, go for it.
How the fuck did you end up going to this event then and not me? Like, what happened there?
Well, I mean, to put it bluntly, I have no idea. I mean, they said that they were offering 3 tickets, and obviously the twins definitely are gonna go. And they did kind of, well, I think at first they said it could be 4 tickets, but then our 4th sister wasn't really going to go.
Oh,
so
another sister was going to go instead of me. No, that's cool. No, that's...
Wait, I'm
so
going to
got 6
here,
tickets.
James.
Yeah. 6 tickets or 7 tickets?
Your sister. You were invited.
Your sister, okay? We offered you that ticket. Do not make me a bigger villain than I already am.
They don't know that. No one knows this.
Oh, wow.
You were not available, James, okay? You were not available.
So what you're hearing, Shay, is they went for me, but, you know, and you were in a kind of rebound. That's what I'm hearing now.
Well,
that's better.
You know what? I'm not going to beat around the bush. I am absolutely fine with being the rebound, given the fact that I'm not like one of those, like, I want to say kind of like you guys that follows wrestling continuously. So it would make more sense ideally if you went James, but obviously I was just more of a round. Plus, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure they just used me as a taxi there as well because I had the car.
Wow, so it wasn't just your taxi services, sis. It was your photography skills too.
Yeah, that's good.
Exactly that. It was exactly that. See, you heard it. Word of mouth, James.
Right. So
yeah.
So we got there now. So this is the thing. So we know the event. What was it called? Pro Wrestling Chaos. 10 years.
Yeah.
Anniversary.
Chaos.
So where was it then? Where was it actually held?
It was held in like a was it Keynsham School or Keynsham Academy or
no,
something?
King's Head Academy.
King's Oak Academy in Bristol.
Oh, in Bristol, right.
Yeah.
So that wasn't too bad then. So it was quite an easy journey to get there, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Given the fact, like talking to the taxi driver, yes, it was easy because I had the car. So yes, of course.
Well, I mean, like, you know, I think it was just one of those things as well where it was quite exciting to kind of have a siblings day out, and just kind of see what chaos we could get up to.
Hey, see what you did there. No, but like you said, you know, you went to this event. So I mean, how busy was it? Was it kind of like, you know, what was it like? I mean, considering, and again, you know, with the AEW show and all this, like independence is very, very different, isn't it? You know, so was it like a culture shock for what you've been through recently?
I wouldn't say a culture shock, no, but it did feel very much more intimate, you know, and I think like there was a part of me that actually really enjoyed the intimacy of it, because it actually felt like it felt more of a big deal at the amount of people that were there. I would say it was relatively well packed out. We did end up going to the I'm pretty sure it was the Sunday show, because none of us were able to attend this Saturday, unfortunately. It was just too last minute notice sort of thing, so we weren't able to attend. But on the Saturday, they were completely sold out. So they had a really good turnout there. And on the Sunday, there were only a few seats sort of here and there that were missing, but you wouldn't have even noticed that those seats weren't filled with how energetic the room was, how loud the room was, and you know, just how much everyone was in their element, just enjoying the wrestling that was being shown. The queue kind of when we first got there, I would say definitely started off longer, but I think that was because of they hadn't officially opened the doors yet. So I mean, it looked like a long queue when you first pull up, but the moment that the doors were opening, there wasn't a lot of a wait time. So it was a pretty smooth sailing sort of opening of the show, I would say.
Yeah, but didn't you do the meet and greet? Wasn't that? It wasn't just the show, was
did.
it? Was that before or after?
Well, we got to do that. Gina, do you want to talk a bit about the meet and greet?
Yeah, it was really, really great, to be honest. So once we kind of, I mean, it was great to get queue jump, to be fair. I felt like the most important person there. But it was really nice. The promoters were so nice when we met them, and we were super excited. They asked us, you know, are you ready to sort of go backstage? There's a couple of the wrestlers who are happy to do meet and greets, so we went back there. And I will give a big shout out to Danny Luna, JJ Gale, Wild Boar, Danny Jones, and the tag team Act 2. Their names are Jack Knudsen, I think you pronounce it, and Ben Harland. They were all at the meet and greet, and they were so lovely to meet ahead of time. And again, me and my sisters are not very familiar with a lot of their works because we don't watch a lot of the indies, but it was really great to meet them and kind of, you know, put faces to names already, so that ahead of the event, we kind of knew who was coming out and who was in the matches. They were all so nice, and they were quite excited for the event as we were. They gave us a little bit of a heads up on what happened on their Friday event and their Saturday event. And yeah, the turnout just seemed great. Once we went to go and find our seats, almost all seats were taken up. So at least you know that, you know, the following that the Pro Wrestling Chaos event actually has is actually quite big. And it was bigger than what I actually expected. You know, they've got a dedicated amount of followers who we met and we got to speak to as well. The people in front of us and behind us were telling us that they attend almost every event that Pro Wrestling put on. So yeah, it was really great. And like I said, the special shout out to those who did the meet and greet just before. They signed posters for us as well. And it was just great to see them and meet them just before their matches.
Yeah. No, to be fair, when you said Wild Boar, I used to have a song for him on the podcast, which is Wild Boar. And I used to do that all the time. So, again, it's nice to hear names
love that, because I actually bought Wild Boar's t-shirt as well, because his t-shirt was so cool.
Always winning, yes. Wild Boar. That's
now
what you
I'm
can do.
totally going to have that like song in my head for Wild Boar.
Yeah. I also have to give a special shout out to our enforcer, because as soon as we turned up to the event, James, and we saw the queue, we felt awful this is actually really rare for us, but Gina and I felt awful just walking past and instantly presuming that we could queue jump. So we sent the enforcer, and she went to go and check if we could queue jump. And then as soon as she came out, everyone was looking at her, and she's, sort of signaling for us to come, and everyone just turned to look at us, and I was like, shit. They're all just looking at us. So I was a little bit.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. The one thing that I will say is that I have a lot of confidence, and I'm one of those people that I don't give a fuck who judges me, who says shit about me. Please carry on talking about me, because that means that I'm the topic. So at the end of the day,
you go, girl.
I was like, no, look, thank you very much, Jane, thank you. But I just thought, well, no, we've got the meet and greet, so why are we going to be waiting in this long ass queue to meet and greet? We're going to miss it, and then it's going to be time for the show to start, so we'll miss it. So I was like, no, I'm not having this. So I just kind of like walked in, pretended I needed the bathroom really quickly, walked through like these doors, and like a group of people were stood there. I was like, oh fuck. I was like, I think I just did it like on my own anyway. So I just like kind of went back out and then just spoke to the people at the bar and was like, I think that we're supposed to have a meet and greet, but I just don't want to wait in this queue and then potentially miss it. Do you know what we're supposed to do? And he's like, yeah, just do, like, if you grab like whoever else is supposed to go and then just kind of speak to so and so and they will get you through. And I was like, okay, fab, which is exactly what I did. So I just poked my head back out through the double doors. I had so many people staring at me. I was like, I don't give a fuck. And
shout out Shay, you know.
you know.
The thing is, though, Shay, is that you've got advantage because, like, to go as a kind of non-diehard wrestling fan, like you said, nothing's going to phase you. So even the wrestlers themselves, I remember going to an event must be about 10 years ago now, with my best mate Luke, who didn't know anything about wrestling, and he ended up sharing knickknacks with Ricochet because he just went up and treated him like a normal guy, whereas I was like, that's fucking Ricochet. But again, so your experiences here are going to have an added advantage.
That's
because
cool.
You're not going to be starstruck or whatever. I got starstruck with whoever it could be. Doesn't matter. So to actually have that.
Oh, bless you.
The enforcer honestly, I'm a mess. It could be anybody. Like, even if I met Wild Boar, then I'd be like, oh no. But,
Oh, bless you. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like when you started saying about like the Wild Boar song, I was thinking of a different Wild song. I was thinking of, Wild Thing. That's up.
That could work. I think
yeah.
I sang that to
definitely.
Gina a couple of weeks ago, so that's, I think.
And the funniest thing is, this will mean absolutely nothing to Shay, but Wild Thing is actually the theme song for Jon Moxley, who wrestles in AEW. So the fact that you don't even know that and you still were like, oh yeah, the Wild Boar reminds me of that song. That was
little do you know, because that's exactly why I said it.
Exactly. She's watching Dynamite now. She's on it. She's got it on the background.
So which group did Jon Moxley used to belong to? What was his name in WWE?
Me?
Yeah.
You wouldn't know that.
Exactly.
Oh, you're going to make her fall on her shield, are you? Don't let her fall on her shield. That'd be horrible.
That's exactly what they did.
Okay.
Yeah, don't let her fall on your shield. Ew.
James, this wasn't your question. This is not your quiz.
Sorry, my microphone's skipping. I didn't know. The shield was up on the microphone. Couldn't talk properly.
Yeah, I get it. We gather it. It was the shield. It was just
Oh, was it? I didn't.
Did you not know, James? I just thought I'd let you know.
Oh, thanks, Jax. I didn't know that. So anyway, so the seats. Well, how were the seats? I mean, like not comfortable one from the ring and everything like that. I mean, I guess because it's slightly smaller as well, like you said, intimate. The seats, you're close no matter what, really, aren't you?
We really were, but we actually had really good positions. Seats where we were sort of positioned on the side, but it just gave us like the whole view of the whole ring with like none of the ring posts really stood in our way. So we were really able to see a lot of the content that was being produced in there. And as you said, it just felt very intimate. So it felt very much like we were like a special audience. getting a chance to watch this. It kind of felt like a privilege to be able to watch these wrestlers do their craft. What I did enjoy was the merchandise section, because the designs for all of these wrestlers, they originally made a lot of these designs themselves, and I was just so blown away and impressed by some of the designs that had come out for them. It was really hard to kind of just pick and choose one t-shirt to have picked up, and I'm hoping to be able to eventually get a design from each of the wrestlers that we saw, because they were really, really fun. I ended up going and buying a t-shirt from a wrestler named Splits McPins, which a special shout out and thank you to him.
You don't want to say that 5 times really fast, do you?
Honestly, I get tongue-tied myself saying that, but I have to give a big shout out to Splits, because I bought the t-shirt probably in the first half of the show. By the end of the show, I was too busy taking pictures and videos that I left my t-shirt, and I was so distraught, so upset, because he has his design of a t-shirt is this beautiful looking tarot card on the back and with a skeleton on, and it's just such a great design. I was gutted to have lost it, and he found out and contacted me and sent me the t-shirt back, and I am so incredibly grateful. So thank you very much, Splits McPins. You've become one of my very favorite wrestlers.
Well done, Splits. It's always good.
Yeah.
No, but that's what I said. That's what's nice, because there is a connection to the. I'm sure Jaxie, Gina, you both noticed it. Like, even talk about the meet and greet. The connection with a wrestler at an independent show is so different to that of a WWE, AEW event. You know, like I said, New Japan maybe, but even with the new rules because of what you two did last year, you know, so even that's going to change slightly now.
Yeah,
Don't blame me for that. That was all Jax last year. That was all Jax.
I can't even deny it, guys, because I almost got arrested. Like, no one should let me near. Like, I should not be allowed near Okada ever. I don't even trust myself anymore. So,
but I don't think
I shouldn't be let around Zack Sabre Jr. either.
Well,
I
no,
think
Gina, you should have got
fight
Zack
between
Sabre
me and him.
Jr. You should have been with Zack.
No, now we're gonna have a fight down next time. I'm telling you straight. Me and him got beef.
I tell you, I've never had more respect for a person than Jaxie when she saw her shot and took it. Like, when she was running towards the ring to Okada, I thought, good on her. We're going to get arrested. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, she left me at the bar to carry everyone's drinks because she heard his music hit. I was struggling.
You were asking me where she was. She was on the way to the ring.
I know. I almost got there as well, but the bouncer saw it. He saw it, and he was just like, do it, and I have to take you out. And I was like, oh, damn it. And then next thing I know, I'm getting pulled back down by Gina. So, you know, crisis aborted, everyone. We avoided it, so that's good.
I think we nearly lost Gina at the Clash when she died for someone as well, but I can't remember who it was now.
Where did you go?
I swear she went, because you both went for Roman as well. I mean, obviously when Drew came on, I went a bit quiet, but
yeah,
I mean,
well, when Drew came on, you fangirled like a little biatch. But to be honest,
I fucking love him. I love him.
Male wrestler. Almost every male wrestler, I kept saying to Jax and James, I'm in love with him.
Yeah. I mean, we were just lucky. We were just lucky that we were so far back at Wembley. Otherwise, you know, I would not have been able to have held her if Ricky Starks had been there. Yeah, like, that would have been a no-go. We would have definitely been arrested.
Gina, I can't believe you told Zack Sabre Jr. to do one. Like, probably the best technical wrestler in the world. Like, I don't know.
Hey, no.
I'm sorry, when you're in my presence and you pull face like Zack did, well, you can fuck right off and do one, Zack, because you should be privileged to be in my presence.
It was our birthday. Did you need to actually look at us like that? We just wanted to say hi. Besides, anyway, we had the best happy birthday was given to us by Cash and Dax anyway from FTR. So I'm very grateful for that anyway. But we've digressed.
Yeah, anyway, so let's get back on track. So there was no crowd running, diving moments. There was nothing like this. It was just you sat down in your seats because obviously the enforcer's there, and you started card. So I'm not gonna, you know, if you can remember it off the top of your heads or anything like that, fine. But kind of what went on and who wants to start? Jaxie, do you want to start us off with the night?
Yeah. So it was a great night. I just want to sort of take a quick moment to shout out the announcers. I'm really sorry because we didn't catch the announcers' names, but we did have a male announcer come on, and he actually reintroduced a female announcer who had been away for a while. You know, it's a shame that we hadn't actually
paid attention,
recognized them or picked them up. Right, James. But it was very nice to actually just see the appreciation from the crowd shouting "Welcome back" chants to her. You know, she looked very well. She looked very excited to be back as well and announcing. So it was just a very nice feel good moment as well to actually give something to the announcers and not just the wrestlers. Even when the referees were coming out,
the male announcer, he said that he was retiring announcing because he wanted to get into wrestling himself.
Go back into wrestling or something. So yeah. Very, very, very interested to see where. I can't remember his name. We'll look this up and we'll
search it.
It. We will search it and then we'll post
it. The announcers will get a special shout out next pod.
Yeah. Yeah. But they kind of started us off with a bang with the first match. They gave us Big Damo versus Mulligan, which was straight away. Now, for those that might not know, recognize Big Damo's name, he was known as Killian Dane in WWE, and he had a complete different look, very, very different to the Killian Dane persona we saw in WWE. It was very much a bit of a shock to see his change because his
head now, hasn't he? He shaved his head.
Full shaved head, a full-on beard. You know, he looked completely different. It was a complete character change. You know, he came out with a lot of like aggression already, so you already knew he was geared up for a fight. So, you know, all of us were very much. I think he got a lot of the crowd over Big Damo, and I think Mulligan did really, really well with, you know, like playing into that and actually playing up the villain. What did you think, sis, Gina?
Yeah, no, I definitely loved the first match. It kind of, the way I like to describe it is like man meat, slapping man meat. They were both big guys. Mulligan is such a tall guy, and he's very stocky himself. So when Damo first came out, I thought whoever's going against him is going to get crushed. But when Mulligan came out, I thought, nope, it's going to be a man meat match. But the crowd were definitely backing Damo. They were all behind him. So Mulligan got a lot of boos, which he relished in, to be honest. He was antagonizing the crowd, and, you know, the crowd were really into it. They were so loud. And to be fair, I feel like Shay got into it a lot. We'll discuss this over the pod and over the matches. But she eventually got louder and louder, screaming at each wrestler. It was brilliant.
Shay, did it start with like polite clapping, and then by the end of it, you're like, "Get the fuck in there," you know?
Do you know what? You hit the nail on the head, James. It really was.
I was really was like that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was a bit kind of not taken back, but just thought I'm gonna act a little bit reserved, like to start off with, and then
it's a bit loud. Like...
But yeah, it was a loud environment. I thought, you know what, I'm liking this environment. I'm always like that though. Like if I'm watch like a basketball game like live or something, I would like be quite reserved to start off with, and then I would get kind of a little bit angry if things don't go my way. I'm like, what the fuck was that, ref? Like, I would literally just start shouting, and half the time I don't know what I'm chatting about, and I'll just say random shit, which is like fine in my head, but then I get looks from people as well. I have to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I'm like, don't judge me. You don't know.
At least you're not doing it on the podcast. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, bless you. But yeah, no, it was I didn't actually get like as into the first match as I did with the rest, because that was just like the first match of me watching and getting the feel of
warming up.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it
Yeah,
was
she
good.
quite
I was
reserved.
scared. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was really nervous because I did kind of say to Jaxie and G, I was just a bit scared that, oh, because I know that when you watch wrestling on TV, like sometimes they break skin or there's some blood and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, am I going to see like proper blood? Is it going to be like a boxing match? Like I'm
Yeah,
scared.
she's squeamish when it comes to things like that. So she was a little bit worried, but we did let her know the wrestlers know what they're doing. Not sure if they're going to be as extreme as like the Blackpool Combat Club, i.e. John Moxley has to bleed every match. But
No,
I,
but
I
you
did
guys
say,
would be in
like, I
trouble
think,
if they were like, and the first match is barbed wire massacre death match. And you're like, oh fuck.
yeah, she would have been out. She would have been out the doors.
I would probably do a nervous laugh and be like, no, I'd just
Yeah.
walk out.
But I also think that maybe Shay had a bit of reservation because we were sort of in the second row. A lot of our chants could be heard by the wrestlers themselves, and I think Shay was a little bit reserved to be like, cussing Mulligan out or something. Whereas me and Jaxie were, screaming at them, saying, "Oh, you can't!" when he pulls 30 moves. So I think, but one thing I will say is that the crowd were so lit, and I think that kind of ricocheted onto Shay, and Shay started getting into the spirit as each match was going. So she was getting louder and louder during each match. But back to the match of Damo versus Mulligan. Like Mulligan would do heavy attacks, but Damo would like hit him back with just as many. They did fight outside the ring for a little bit as well. And again, I think because where we were so close, you could hear each and every slap that they did, and it just got more painful the more you heard a slap. But I will say Mulligan he used his speed against Damo. So Damo had a lot of hard hits, but Mulligan was very fast and he used his speed and stamina to try and quickly recover. And yeah, he ended up, trying to get over Damo, but Damo was just like, nah, bruv, I'm going to take the win on this one. And he ended up getting a standing ovation for the win. I will point out, though, that Mulligan's clotheslines look fucking killer. I would never want to be clotheslined by him. I think I'd be beheaded.
But this is another thing about, especially like an independent show as well, is you're seeing like Jaxie, you mentioned like former Killing Dane girls on NXT and stuff like this, mixing up with someone that you haven't heard of. So now in the future, you kind of might look up this guy. You've already mentioned you're going to look up Straps McGee or wherever it is. But do you know what I mean? Like again, it's
split pins.
I don't mean to. Honestly, I'm not. It's great that, like I said, with a name like that, he will get remembered. So after Big Dynamo, then what do we have next?
Sorry.
So what was the next match?
Yeah. So the next match, that was so it was a wrestler called Josh Holly, and he was going against the English Lion, Eddie Ryan. It rhymes.
I like that.
So it is. I've only just noticed that it rhymed. So again, we didn't know much about these guys, but when they were coming out, it was clear that Josh Holly was more of the crowd's favorite than Eddie was. Eddie was quite rude to the crowd, which I kind of liked. You know me, I always kind of like the heels. I think, the cheekiness of them, you just remember the heels a lot more in my eyes because they're just rude and cheeky. And I think that would be me as a wrestler. So, but the match was it was great. I mean, Josh Holly was the favorite going in, like I said, and he was quick and really swift in the ring. He was flipping Ryan everywhere from, doing the feet flips and chucking him over him. So it felt a little one-sided at first, but then, Holly would just come back and hit him even harder. Sadly, Holly wasn't able to avoid the finisher that Eddie had, and I'm really sorry that I don't know all of their finishers' names, but he ended up taking the pin from Eddie Ryan, and
The
Eddie
English
won.
Lion. Let's not forget.
The English Lion. But what
Ryan.
was great is that Eddie decided to grab the mic after, and he started to talk shit about another wrestler. So this other wrestler he was talking crap about was Jay Joshua, also known as JJ. And this Jay Joshua was in a match on the Saturday night show. So he was talking crap, saying he's not here tonight. I'm putting this out there that I'm going to be taking him out next. And next thing you know, this Jay Joshua came out to confront him. And the English Lion, Eddie Ryan, ran off like a coward,
Yeah,
which was pretty funny
that
to
was
watch.
yeah. This match was actually all kinds of fun. You could just tell that they were both like happy to play up to the crowd. There was a lot of energy that was still coming off of the big Damo match, so you could actually just still feel that, and they wanted those hard hits, they wanted those slaps, and so we were getting them. As Gina said though, with Eddie Ryan, he was just always kind of getting that upper hand over Josh Holley, so there was just kind of no way for him to make a comeback, which was going to allow him to like kind of really get a decent finisher on him. So Eddie just took full advantage of that and was able to just kind of pick up the win, I say quite easily, but this was after wearing Josh Holley down quite a bit. He definitely played the stamina game.
But even as you say, if I said Eddie Ryan, English Lion, is going against JJ, the next match looks like they're building them up strong in this one. And this is the secret, or this is what they should do at independent shows as well, is like you said, set that up and go, in our next show, we're going to see these two guys finally go at it in a, X match, and kind of these guys as well. It's trying to bring back the people that are there, even if people, like you said, are buying tickets, then they might think they pay for it next time,
Yeah, exactly. So you got that exactly right.
So
but that was a really good.
What was next?
It was a good match. The next one was. Sorry, bear with me. I'm going through my notes. So it was actually a tag team match. This was one of my favorite matches, to be honest, because this was between Grey Matter, which was Splits McPins, and a wrestler, yes, and a wrestler named Elijah. I've not obviously seen them as a tag team together, but I was already just very happy seeing Splits come out. He has a very good sort of persona with this sort of bowling persona, like he's a bowler, but he wears a lucha mask at the same time. So he's just got a lot of mystery about him, and I was very intrigued to see his style of wrestling.
Did he notice you guys?
I don't really remember.
That means
I remember I got. I remember.
No, I remember that.
Did
I think you did because you bought his t-shirt. So
yes, I
was
did.
Going Jaxie.
No,
you just blanked.
This was definitely before we actually got a chance to speak with him. So I'd only gone out and bought the t-shirt, but I hadn't met him yet. So I was just that crazy girl shoving a t-shirt in his face, look. He probably thought, "What the fuck is this weirdo?"
When you said shoving something in his face, I'm glad you said t-shirt. Right, sorry, continue.
Yes, shoving the t-shirt in his face. Okay, it wasn't a bowling ball or any pins, no, nothing like that. So, but they went up against a tag team called Act 2, which consisted of Benjamin and Jack, I think their names are, and they were part of the meet and greet, so we had recognized them from the meet and greet. This match was awesome. The first thing that I want to say is both teams have really great chemistry, not only with their partners but with one another, and every moment it was really hard to actually do any filming of this match or taking any pictures of it during this match, because so much was happening so quickly. The stamina of all four of these wrestlers were just actually insane a little bit. You kind of had more Act 2, I would say, was more of the face team as far as I'm aware, but please, any of my sisters can correct me if they thought opposite. But
so
I think
Splits was a heel then.
I think Act 2 were the face, and
Right,
Splits
okay,
and
cool.
Elijah were the heels, because as soon as Act 2 came out and they were sort of, on the corner with the crowd saying hi to them, Splits and Elijah just didn't want to wait. They wanted to get the upper, they wanted to get the advantage, and they just went and hit them. And I think even Jack he actually fell out of the ring from the hit because he was on the top rope, or it might have been Ben actually. So it was just a already not even the music stopped yet. the match
Yeah.
started.
But
Yeah.
what's interesting?
Yeah, no,
now,
Jack kept getting
sorry to
hit, bless
interrupt.
him.
So go on.
No, good. No, go for
No,
it.
I
What were
just
you
said
gonna...
Jack kept getting hit, bless him. So I felt really bad for him.
So you started to feel the wrestlers emotion. So you got comfortable and you're like, hang on a minute, it's getting beaten up a little bit too much. Like, you know.
Yeah. I felt bad, bless him. I
Yeah.
wanted to take him under my
I think she
wing.
maybe resonated with Jack and thought, you know what, this is how I feel when the twins gang up on me.
Exactly that. You hit the nail on
Yeah.
the head. Yeah, exactly that. See?
It was also, you could just see the determination from Jack. He just continued to get up,
Yeah, he was a persistent little bugger, bless him, because he just didn't really want to. He didn't really want to tag his friend in at the time. I was like, "Fucking tag him in, because you're getting battered." Like,
Yeah,
I
but
was
then
so
Ben did
confused.
get the hot tag. He got the hot tag at one point, and it was all brilliant. They had such a great back and forth moment between all four members of for both teams at one point, where it was sort of like tag, do a move, tag, do a move, and they were just coming in one after the other. And the one thing I have to say about both teams was the level of trust that they not only have for their partners, but that they have for each other, just allowed them to do so many split movements. Like you find it difficult watching it and actually registering what happened. So how they actually put that all together in that quick of a concession of one another, it was just really impressive to watch.
So it was a real strike of a match.
More high flying.
It was a real strike.
Like, both teams were doing loads of high flying moves, which was nice because, again, the first two matches kind of felt like heavy hitting matches, whereas the tag match, there were so many more high flying moves. We were seeing moonsaults. We were seeing, people just jumping up on their shoulders and taking them down like Lita used to do. I used to love that move. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, it was just great because the high flying aspect of it is something that me and my sisters resonate with because, again, from what we said earlier, we loved the Hardys and Lita growing up, and what we know most about the Hardys and Lita is how quick they were and how high flying they were. So I definitely got that vibe from this match, and it was just chaos from beginning to end.
Yeah. There was like just a sort of like a moment towards the end of the match where Act 2 were really gaining some momentum within the match itself, and you really truly believed that they were going to make that real good comeback. And then sort of a double team happened, and Jack was taken out of the ring, and everyone was like, no, because that left just Ben in the ring by himself, and Splits and Elijah just tag teamed him, managed to end up doing a really great tag move for the pin, and Splits McPins got the pinfall.
But the question is, I have to. I've got two of them. Sorry, this is bad, but I can't watch Act 2 because I've not seen Act 1 yet. And also, is Splits full time or is he temping? Hey!
I knew you were going to come out of this.
I love that too.
I'm sure that they'd be so happy to hear those puns. They might actually use them in their next promo. You never know.
Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to bring us down.
Call out copyright.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this match overall, it definitely continued to heighten the mood, and like we just have discussed about, sort of the setting being very intimate with how small the venue was itself. That also meant that we heard every slap, every hit, every fall to the outside of the ring. So you could just tell that these wrestlers were giving it their all because we could hear them giving them their all, So you have to give a commendation to not just these four wrestlers from this match, but all wrestlers within this event. They all went above and beyond.
Yeah, well, so sounds it right now. So Gina, what was up after that then? There was no interval, I assume.
There was an interval. I think the interval came after this match. I think they did the first four matches and then they did an interval. So the fourth match was between Wild Boar and Cruz. So the wrestler, he was facing Cruz, who's known as like Will Cruz. This match felt like a
Will
real David and
Cruz.
Goliath match.
Sorry. Will Cruz for what?
Oh God, James, I can't take you sometimes.
Sorry, sorry.
But no, this match really did feel like a David and Goliath match. You know, Cruz was very tall, and I wouldn't exactly say Wild Boar was short, but he was just shorter than Cruz. So it did feel like how is this match going to pan out? Is it going to be a one-sided match? But I will admit that they both. The one thing that I can describe of this match is man slaps. They kept doing the man slaps on the chest area, and you could see the redness showing up. And I just thought, shit, every slap sounds hard, and it seems like they were getting harder and harder. But they were both trying to kind of showcase their strength. And I will give a shout out to Wild Boar, not just because I got his t-shirt, but he just kept getting up after getting hit and hit and hit by Cruz. But Wild Boar also was chucking in frog splashes. He ended up doing a really high flying move, doing a bit of a splash off the top as well. And he ended up getting Cruz outside of the ring, but sadly that's when Cruz turned the tables, you know, hit him into the ring post, shoved him back in the ring. Again, all I can say is Cruz overpowered Wild Boar, sadly, and he ended up getting the win. But it was enjoyable because it wasn't just fighting inside the ring. They came outside the ring to fight, which made it a bit more closer to us. But one thing I will say about these two wrestlers is I don't really know who was the face and who was the heel. It felt like they were both faces and they both had a lot of respect for each other, even at the end of the match. They both had a lot of respect for each other. And Cruz did go on the mic as well after the match, you know, to say he's grateful to get the pin. I think he had mentioned that he was on a bit of a losing streak, but was able to come back with that match tonight. And he was kind of considering retiring from wrestling and leaving it there with a high on the win. And I'm not sure who it was. It might have been Wild Boar. It might have been someone else. But they came out and told Cruz, you need to still keep going, bruv, because you still got fight in you. And all of the crowd agreed.
It wasn't Wild Boar. It was I'm pretty sure that this was actually his tag partner, although I've completely forgotten the tag partner's name. Who, James?
Well, Primate used to team with, I think, Wild Boar back on NXT UK, but again, they did change that up a couple of times because Eddie Dennis used to manage them. So
yeah, but this was the like a tag partner for Cruz, Will Cruz. I'm so sorry that I've forgotten who this was, but yeah, he was the one to come out and say, you know, come on, you can keep doing this. And Will Cruz was actually like, no, I can't let my tag partner down. I have to do this for him, you know. So like it was a real feel good moment of actually seeing like a partner coming out and saying, you're not done yet. Don't give up on yourself. Come on, we got this, you know. So what everyone wants in their life is a hype person. So that was a feel good moment. But I do have to give shout out to Will Cruz because he was doing some top rope moves that I was not expecting. So again, just
you know, he's a big guy. It's a bit like Jonah or Bronson Reed, you want to call him. You know, like you don't expect Jonah to be able to do some high flying moves.
Like how Keith Lee, when Keith Lee does that jump up move where he just does, you know, like you just don't expect it. So when he just jumped up like that to the top rope, I was like, oh damn, he's got some stamina. He's got like, you know, it was really an exciting match to just watch. And like I think Gina described the match really well in saying that it was just like two big men like absolutely just trolling each other. And even though Wild Boar is a lot shorter, like he still was able to take and handle so much at what Will Cruz was throwing at him. So you have to give it respect. I really felt like this was a Ring of Honor type match, if I'm truly honest, because as Gina said, the respect shown between both men in the ring and outside of the ring after the match, it was actually kind of a feel good match.
Well, it sounds it. So, Shay, I'm going to ask you at this moment in time because
Shay was terrified of Will Cruz because of like that height difference. She was like, no.
But this was like, but as you know, someone who knows, you know, we talked about Chris Jericho and you know people at Hardy's who look like wrestlers. I mean, what were your thoughts on the guys? Because Wild Boar doesn't scream like sports entertainer, and I know it's not about appearance, but I mean, how measure up, to what you maybe was going to see. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit terrified. Just they were both quite large guys, and I was like, oh, just kind of like, I know if I just stood next to them, I would look like a tiny little peanut. Especially to Cruz, bless him. Like, he's so tall, so big. I feel like he could literally just like grab me by the throat and like probably pop my head off, like just with one little squeeze. Like he's
whatever you're
so
into.
so big.
I don't.
No. My goodness, no, like fine. But I just be
Call
like,
him a cunt. Call him a cunt.
you're headed that way, James. I'm not gonna lie. But no, I just thought that it's exactly like Gina said, like the slaps, you just heard like the slap after slap, and you saw like the red marks as well. So there were moments, I think that was the one match that I was just kind of like not covering my eyes, but I was just kind of hiding behind my hands for majority of it, because I was like, oh. So yeah, like the one thing is weird, I'm not a massive fan of violence, but then when it's like well, it's different when it's wrestling and you kind of see it like live, because you know that it's all kind of for like entertainment purposes. It's not like there's no like animosity there, or there's no like horrible tension, and it's not like down like proper feelings. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I said. But it's interesting to see, because obviously you're watching it, and then it's like with the talent, they're actually working for you. They're trying to get you involved in it. So the more you start feeling, then that's what's the interesting thing throughout the night. So so we're going to be checking in on that as we go along. But I assume that the interval then, Gina, as you said, come up. So everybody went for drinks. Then I guess came back for the second half.
No, that was just me. I was on drinks duty. So Jax had to go get the drinks. That was me.
Yeah, that's only because I got the first round, okay?
No, but I'm really not even mad at that, because that was when I got to meet Splits McPins outside. And I got to take a picture with him. I got to take a picture with quite a few of the wrestlers. So again, thank you all to the wrestlers that, happily indulged my sisters and I in photos. But yeah, very happy, because I only went to get beer and I managed to run into Splits McPins.
Yeah, but again, yeah.
I mean, that really should. I might actually, message him and just say, think about this for your next promo. Only went to get beer and I ran into Splits McPins. It's a great little catchphrase there.
It's a classic love story. Woman meets Splits, falls in love with Splits. You know what I mean? Buys beer, buys t-shirt.
It's his bowling balls.
Yeah. Splits until Splits split.
It ends up Splits.
No, but it was nice when we came back from the interval. We got a little bit of a I say backstage promo. They came out to do a promo, but so I like to call him the Roderick Strong of Pro Wrestling Chaos. His name is James Ellis. So this guy came out with a neck brace on, and he was not happy, and he was cussing out one of the wrestlers, Danny Jones, for injuring him the night before. But he actually came out to invoke a rematch clause for one of his partners in wrestling, Joseph Connors. So he invoked the rematch clause for Joseph Connors for the King of Chaos Championship. So again, this is kind of setting up for one of their next events to come up, in saying that, Joseph Connors will be going for the King of Chaos Championship. So that, again, that kind of made those of us who weren't familiar with the storyline be like, okay, so the King of Chaos Championship seems like the highest championship here that you want. If he's invoking a rematch clause, then Joseph Connors was the previous champ, so he obviously wants to get his belt back. So that then makes you interested for the next event, because you're like, does he get the belt back, or we shall see. But it was great because the crowd hated James Ellis, and he was trying to hand out a contract for this rematch clause, and the crowd were saying, is that your resignation? Please let us know you're quitting. We hate you. And he kept telling the crowd to shut up. And he was like, my neck hurts, okay? So it was quite funny to watch, to be honest. And it was nice to have a bit of a promo section before the next match.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Joseph Collins as well. If it's the same guy, he used to be in NXT UK. So, again, that's very interesting few names. And it's nice to know, since NXT UK did stop a couple of years ago, the people who left have, found work. Like I said, there's lots of wrestling around at the moment. So it's a good thing,
Exactly.
Right, so
Sure.
what was next then?
So the next match was Danny Jones, who obviously got called out for hurting James Ellis the night before, and he was going against a wrestler called JJ Gale. And to be fair, I wasn't quite sure who was meant to be the face or heel in this, but the crowd quickly told me they were not a fan of Danny Jones, and they were all behind JJ Gale. And you know me, James, I have a soft spot for the heels. So of course I'm screaming my lungs out for Danny Jones. So I probably was hated by the crowd. I'm not gonna lie. They all probably was looking at me like I'm crazy because I keep cheering for the heels. But yeah, this match was quite good as well.
Right. There's no.
Oh, there was plenty.
Oh no, there were kids. There were kids.
You shouted "cunt" in front of kids
Yeah.
again. That's good.
Oh yeah.
No, seriously, Gina was the worst influence. Actually, I don't know who was worse, Shay or Gina. Both of their potty mouth. They had to keep apologizing to the parents.
Really?
No.
Shay,
don't try it.
Don't try and deny it, Shay. We have video proof of your voice and the amount of swear words that come out in one sentence from you. Even I stood there and was like, "Oh my god!" The profanity.
There's a difference. I think I realized that I was swearing too much, and there was a kid just in front of me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Because I had lungs.
So if you don't like it, fuck off.
At least you didn't pour beer down the poor kid, you know.
Shay was one beer away from, pouring it over the little kid and just doing another Gina again. So, and there would have been no stopping that. So,
yeah. But no, this
would
match
be a wrestling event if Gina didn't throw beer at children. I'm just,
it would be really.
That's different.
But no, this match was quite good. One thing I'll say about JJ Gale is like I want to play on his name a little bit and just say he's like a whirlwind. He was just shooting from every corner of the ring, trying to overpower Danny. He was doing his best, but Danny also just was heavy hitting him a lot, and he was doing a lot of technical moves. So I would say that this was more of a technical type match between JJ and Danny Jones, and Danny got him into, I don't want to say the walls of Jericho. How else do you call that?
Boston Crab.
There we go, Boston Crab. So he had him stuck in that Boston Crab for quite a while. I thought he was going to tap out. But it showed that the two wrestlers knew each other well, because there was a section where they were both just countering each other's moves one after another to the point that it hit a stalemate. And the crowd just couldn't help but just clap because they just countered each other so well. So for me, seeing both of them fight like that, I kind of thought in the back of my head, these two have had a fight before. And it made me intrigued to possibly want to go and find their previous match and watch that as well. So it was really great. And do you know what is funny? I've got this as video evidence as well. Shay was really into this match, and she actually ended up saying, like, it's kind of like they're doing a dance with each other when they were doing the countering part. Because it was, in a way, they were both just countering each other so well. It kind of flew like really fluidly, like it was a dance almost, So it was great.
They were both
that.
very, very acrobatic, both of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing I'll say is JJ tried to get a roll up in. That was our first roll up that we saw, but he didn't get it in the end.
Yeah.
No, but it was just very rare. It was a bit of a shock to see that roll up, because we were like, oh God, this is the first one.
Yeah. What? Whereas in WWE, you'd be like, this is the 20th roll up in the third match.
But I do have to agree with that. Shay was a lot more vocal in this one, I think, and it was because of, again, JJ Gale was everywhere. Just flying everywhere. So it was just kind of amazing just to kind of sit and watch. I think at one point the crowd went quiet because we were so entranced in watching these two just go at it. The chemistry that these two had in the ring the trust that they both had, it just showed within their match, you know. You wouldn't, but again, we call this indie wrestling, but to me that was professional wrestling within the ring right there.
It definitely sounds it, without a doubt. You know, it sounds like there's good stuff going on all throughout the night. You know, you need, like I said, you're building a crowd.
And Danny ended up countering and getting a hard suplex, and he ended up getting the win.
So there we go then. So that was another enjoyable match.
I mean, their bodies were nice as well. You couldn't complain.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, were they? I said, because you've had to go through one ball and other wrestlers, so...
Of course.
That, like, maybe both JJ and Danny were getting a few I want to say, you know, compliments from myself and Shay.
I mean, yeah, Gina, you were saying, come on, Danny. I was like, go on, JJ. And then at one point we swapped as well, because I was like, no, he looks all right, actually, in this angle. It's like, he's winning as well. So, no, let's go for this one.
Say, James, that I had to get the water bottle spray out and just spray it both down, you know?
I know,
so,
like rats up a drain pipe.
And I think,
terrible.
Like Danny
I was spraying you this time, James. It wasn't you having to spray me or Gina. It was me spraying Gina and Shay.
Yeah, all spray and after Drew. Like the Drew thing was,
yeah.
The Drew dribble is just never gonna get over.
So
James.
moist, it was unbelievable.
Monty is so upset that he is not on this podcast listening to you talk about how moist you were for Drew. We'll have to let him know.
I know.
You know?
I will tell him that. I will tell him that. I can't wait. So what happened after that then?
Yeah, we moved on to, I think this could have been the penultimate match, so to speak, which was between. Yeah, before the main event. And it was a match between Vertigo versus Tate McFairs. Do you recognize any of those names?
No.
Okay. Well, I hadn't before either, right? First of all, Vertigo, he is a Canadian wrestler. Oh my gosh. Within the match itself, we will get into it, but he reminded me, his moveset was very reminiscent of Ricochet. And I had really wondered whether or not these two have ever met in the ring before, just like on the indies at all, or what. But that if they haven't, they should. Because that would just be absolutely insane. Throw Ray Fenix in there with them, and I actually just think that we wouldn't even see these men touch the floor, because of Vertigo was constantly on the top rope, and he was, not even doing top rope moves into the ring. He was doing them outside of the ring too. Let me just real quick just get the elephant out of the room at the moment when it comes to Tate McFairs. James, I don't like him. We're not friends with him, okay?
Why?
James, no, you'll like him. You'll be fine. It'll be fine.
No, me and James are not. James, you've got to be on my side on this one. I've got a feud with him. We're supposed to be challenging each other at the next event. He came out with this cocky attitude straight away. I knew he was a heel. I knew it. He comes out and straight away he looks at my sister. He looks at Gina, and then he's like, "Call me." I saw red, James. I went into protective mode. Like Mama Bear came out, and he was constantly looking at Gina throughout the match the whole time. And I had my hand over her like I was a protective mother. And I was like, "You will not take my sister. You will not."
Yes, but at the end of the day, she's single.
I love
Shay. Come on, no, Shay. I'm sorry, but
I disapprove, Shay.
We're gonna do either AEW or WWE wrestler for Gina. All right, like I'm sorry, like New Japan and Chaos, great, but we want to be in.
Yeah, we're
for so you can't help Tate for falling in love at first sight, and
wow, the narcissism.
Look at
like you said, I'm glad you haven't got.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's what I liked about him so much, is he had a similar attitude to what I have. So he's like, very cocky. Look at me, and Like he had like great ring gear. It looked like, a velvet type ring gear, and I love velvet. So I instantly was like, yes, I like him. And
Fucking
as soon as
people
he said,
listen to
"Call
this
me,"
and
I
like,
was just
right,
giddy.
let's just wear velvet.
You're getting
Easy
some
notes.
stuff from Gina.
Yeah,
Well,
be
Yeah.
cocky.
I can't help it.
And to be fair, Shay, you were very much on the protective side too. You were heckling him and you were shouting shit at him, and I was actually cheering you on, shouting that shit at him. So yeah, just saying.
I'm
Okay.
gonna say.
No, you're right. Okay.
I'm gonna say he sounds like a cunt. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's my cunt, James. Okay, we're gonna
Could
see
have had
this is
Zack
my
Sabre
cunt, all right?
Jr., Gina.
Hey,
I don't know how
don't
many
worry,
times I have
babes.
to tell you.
I've got you.
I know,
God.
right? Seriously.
Oh God, Gina.
But
you're
I
so
mean, again,
difficult
these two
sometimes.
gave such a great performance.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I feel like it was hard to say that there was any match on this card that felt like a toilet break match, because you really, again, very much like the tag match, didn't want to take your eyes off of both Tate and Vertigo, because Vertigo was doing all these huge high flying moves that were just impressing the crowd and getting everyone gasping. But Tate was, the ultimate heel, like doing very much all the same sort of like bitch moves that like you would see heel MJF, pull out in the ring and things like that. And it ultimately worked for him, and Tate got the win over Vertigo. So you can imagine the whole arena erupted with boos, and then you had just Gina like, yay! Oh my gosh. James, I wanted to just crawl off.
She makes me
I will
sick.
give both
Like,
wrestlers.
Right?
I will give both wrestlers the time of day for this match. I mean, Vertigo, I will also kind of say he gave me like Shawn Michaels vibes, and like he had the hair going for him, like AJ Styles type hair. He was great. And like one thing I loved about Tate is as soon as the match started, he was doing, I kind of want to say Christian Cage type of stuff, hiding behind the ropes and saying, "Ref, get him back." And he just kept hiding behind the ropes. And Vertigo was just, getting really irritated by him because he was just wanting to get that upper hand. But it's just funny because
what worked in his favor,
Yeah, and I do have a note here saying Shay kept taunting Tate, who kept coming back for her because he kept shouting out at her to stop screaming at him.
Yeah, he was just like, "Oi, be on my side." I was like, absolutely not.
I think it's safe to say that I was Tate's only fan.
Yeah, well, Gina, I'm not shocked that you went, do you know what? I like the match where the wrestler wanted to fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
do you know what? I went for Tate because he's a winner. I only go for the winners. And Tate is one half of the tag champ as well, can I add in? So clearly this man is already coming out with, belts on him. So for me, yes, I'm going to go for the winner. And Tate won. He deserved that win. Although he did use distractions. So,
yeah.
Oh, well. He won.
He's easily distracted. So no, in my eyes, he's shit. I like Shawn Michaels wannabe. So
yeah, like Vertigo for me really did impress me. I was very gutted that he didn't pick up the win, because of like he very much impressed me with like his aerobatics. I don't know how else to call them. Like he really reminded me of Ray Fenix whenever he was in the air. Like again, I think we discussed this before, James, on one of our other pods, but like it's such a difference seeing a high flying move done in person over like watching it on a camera through the camera. And it was just the heights he was going. He's incredibly talented. So I really do hope that we get to see Vertigo again, and hopefully I would love to one day see him pick up a win against Tate. Me and him aren't friends. James, if we ever meet him, we're going to shout cunt and then run, okay?
I'm going to fuck him up. I'll be like, come here, geese. Fucking come on.
Hey, call me.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm like, shut the fuck up, Gina. I'm doing my tough man. Yeah, come on, guy. Come on, fella. You won't fucking...
I really liked Vertigo, especially because he did the hair flick thing whenever like he would kind of like do a move and then he would flick his long hair up, and I was like, "Ooh, it's like L'Oreal."
It was kind of like Black
Canadian
Widow.
vibe.
Like Black Widow, when in the movie when her sister like says, "Why do you always do that thing where you pose and with your hair and you flip it?"
Yeah, it was literally that. I was like, what? I love vertigo doing the hair flick.
Exactly.
I
And
wanted to turn around and be like,
Canadian wrestler as well, which was interesting.
Yeah. So it was nice to meet him after the show. But this led us to the main event. Which, Gina, do you want to start us off with that?
Yeah, I think the main event was one of the matches that all three of us were looking forward to the most because it was the only female match on the card. And let me just point out that obviously there were female matches all throughout the Pro Wrestling Chaos weekend. So it was great to finally see like the female match, and the fact that the female match was the main event made it even more exciting. And I think it was a little bit exciting because me and Jax have heard of Dani Luna before. So it was actually someone that we kind of knew of. We got to meet her beforehand and she was absolutely lovely. She was so kind to us. And, you know, we got pictures with her as well, which was lush. And she was going against Millie McKenzie, who I'm not familiar with, but I'm telling you now, I'm not going to forget her. She did absolutely great in this match. Jax, do you want to go in for it? And then I'll follow you up.
I mean, both women killed it. To be honest, James, I can't even describe this match in great detail. If anyone was going to be able to like go and watch it, like that match for me was just outstanding. Both women went so hard. I cannot even count the amount of suplexes either woman did to the other. And it wasn't just in the ring. It was outside the ring. It was on the outside of the ropes, on the ring apron. It was on the ropes. Like there was an incredible move that I'm pretty sure it was Dani Luna had Millie on the middle rope, and suplexed her off of the middle rope. Like it was just absolutely insane. Like just watching that live and seeing both women take that hit, you know, you cannot tell me that any of those audience members were not impressed, because that was just everyone went crazy at that moment. They both know each other so well. They continuously countered one another. It was really hard to imagine who was going to be the ultimate winner of this match. They ended up going outside to the ring at one point, didn't they?
The ring apron, and they started sort of doing a bit of a fight out there, which was nice to see. It wasn't just, you know, the male matches that you got to see that with, it was the female matches too. And like, you know, Dani was really quick to try and exert her dominance, and she was throwing loads of hard hits. She did quite a few drop kicks to the face, but then Millie was so quick to respond with her own drop kick, and she followed that up with another hard-hitting suplex. They both delivered, and at one point Dani had picked Millie up on her shoulders, but Millie countered it with a moonsault and then did 2 spears and a pedigree. But then Dani kicked out, and it was just like, shit, like how did Dani kick out of that? And then they, you know, went on to the outside of the ring where Dani suplexed Millie over the top rope. But then out of nowhere, you thought Millie was taken out from that. Millie just stood up and delivered a devastating headbutt. That headbutt went hard. Like, I think even Shay was just like, oh my God.
Like, Drew McIntyre would have been absolutely disappointed with his Glasgow kiss if he saw the headbutt that Millie delivered to Dani. And you're just like, where did Millie even get? You could tell that was pure adrenaline running through her when she literally got up from that top rope suplex and just headbutted her, and both women fell. And I'm pretty sure at this point they did get This Is Awesome chance, because that was awesome. That was fucking awesome.
Well, do you know?
Yeah.
Sorry
it's
to
non-stop.
Like these two is probably most well known. You know, talk about NXT UK with Dani Luna being part of Subculture, with Mark Andrews and Morgan Flash Webster, calls former NXT tag team champions, became Impact tag team champions a couple of months ago. So Dani Luna has been in Impact Wrestling. Millie McKenzie, I don't know if you guys know, only 23 years old. How good is she, eh?
She's 23 years old and actually doing
23.
Oh, wow, that's even more.
Wow, I didn't realize she was that young.
Yeah, I didn't either. She's going to be going places. I know for a fact that she's one to watch. And I think the one thing that really stood out to me for Millie was she is a female version of Claudio. Her technical wrestling skills are very impressive for someone her age.
Yeah, and Pete Dunne helped with her training, so again,
Yeah,
you can exactly that style. Yeah.
But that makes absolute total sense. I'm very happy that Pete Dunne has worked with her because she was so impressive. I was looking at her technique, and she could become one of the women that would be known as one of the best female technical wrestlers. If she continues to hone her craft the way she's doing it. Yeah, I have no doubt that she could go far. Again, though, Dani Luna, so impressive throughout all of it, ultimately picked up the win. But I feel like both women came out the winners of that match. They had a really good feel-good moment at the end where they, embraced one another as well. And they rightly should, because that match went hard. And I don't think that, even during the big Damo match, I think that ultimately at the end of the match, they got the biggest pop. And they rightly deserved it. It was just incredible. I mean, Shay, from your point of view, considering this was sort of like your first live wrestling event and then also getting to see the women in the main event, how did this whole match go for you? Like, what was going through your head? Because I feel like me and Gina have talked expressively a lot.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't know who I wanted to win out of Dani and Millie. They were both so incredible. They both had their own different styles, their own different techniques. They were both really, really good, and you could tell they respected each other as well. And I think when you watch a match and the two wrestlers, you can tell that they respect each other. I think that's where it then becomes enjoyable. When you can tell that there's like some harshness or there's some bitterness or something, it makes me feel a little bit like on edge, like, oh, okay, and like my toes curl. It makes me feel like I'm not 100% about this. But watching their match, it was nice, it was smooth, it was easy. They, like I said, they were both really, really good, and it was that match was probably one that I didn't really film. I don't think I filmed anything because I was so engrossed in what was happening and who was going to come out on top and who was actually going to win, because they both kind of went to pin each other multiple times. No one was giving it up. So I was like, Jesus Christ, who the fuck's going to do it? I don't understand. Like, they're both kind of like an even win at this moment in time. Like, but I'm not gonna lie, like, Millie got beaten. She did, and she kept on coming back. I was like, shit, son, she's one to watch. I was like, if that was me, Jesus Christ, my head would be decapitated. I'd be like, I'm out, I'm done, I got a headache, I'm not doing this. So she really did like push through. So I was like, wow, she is a proper fighter. Me, no, I'll give you my white flag, like, you take it, I want to go sit in the tub. So well done, props to her. But I don't think I could get like 5 minutes in. I'd be like, oh my god, tea, I'm burning, I've had enough. But yeah, no, I think
like you were saying though, even to start the night, and you're just like not, seeing how it goes. So I assume by this time, like you said, you even like, just come on, feet just on your feet.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't know who to kind of shout for, because at first I was like, I was shouting for Dani because we met her and she was lovely when we did like the meet and greet. She was really nice. So initially I just kind of went to Dani because I was like, oh, we saw her in the meet and greet. Yeah, she's great. So I just like, I obviously I didn't know any wrestlers, so I was just obviously a bit naive. And just thought, oh, I know we met her briefly, so yeah, I could have like shout for Dani. And then Millie was literally giving it her all, and she was very acrobatic. She was good. She was throwing in her hits. I was like, oh shit, okay, but like we got some competition. This is a challenge. It's not going to be like an easy fight, which it really wasn't. So yeah, that's why I was like, oh, I don't know who I want to win, because they're both really, really good. And I'm not gonna lie, I took one look at Dani and I was like, what?
We were definitely chanting for both. Like, I think it was too hard to like not cheer both on at that point. They were both giving it their all. You could tell.
Oh, definitely. And that's why I was just like, there was a little girl behind us who was definitely Millie's biggest fan, because she kept screaming for Millie. So it was really cute to just, see that and hear.
And you turned around, Gina, really just threw your beer in her face. I mean,
I mean,
That's not cool, man.
she's lucky because she was behind me, so she didn't get the beer, whereas the little boy in front possibly did get beer, but he didn't tell me if he did, so really sorry.
So, like I said, it sounds like an interesting event. Is there anything else we can think of that happened there, or should we do the WNR famous match rating and MVP of the night?
No, I mean, I think the only thing I kind of want to say is, the next Pro Wrestling Chaos event will be held in Bristol again, and it's actually this weekend on the 11th of November, and it's being held in the Kings Oak Academy again. Unfortunately, we're all busy, so we're not able to attend this one, but I will be attending the next event because I was so into sort of this event here that it made me want to go to future events. So I am gutted to miss the one that's happening this weekend, but I'm just going to be following their Instagram and, figuring out what happened, seeing if I can see any outcomes to those matches as well. So,
yeah, I'm sure
it's mainly just so that she can try and stalk Tate. That's probably what she wants to do.
Yeah, that's terrible. I'm gonna report their YouTube channel. That's what I'm gonna do.
James, you're such a cunt.
and then you can just blame it all on Tate.
Yeah, they'll never know it's me. Anyway.
You just said it.
That's all right. It's not like we're live. So anyway, Jaxie, why don't you start us off then? So I don't know if you want to do match of the night, but who's your MVP as well for that?
You know what? I'm gonna give my MVP to Splits McPins. I really enjoyed the tag match, and I really do rate that match really high. But I'm gonna give my match of the night ultimately to the main event. Danny Luna and Millie McKenzie absolutely stole it. But I wanted to give something back to the tag match, and in terms of MVP, I would go with Splits McPins.
Gina, I don't want to ask you MVP because I know the fuck you're gonna say, but MVP and match of the night.
Please do not.
Yeah, my MVP is going to Tate. I'm sorry, but he singled me out, made me feel like a superstar.
You're a loser.
Come on, James, you're a dickhead.
That's the best comeback.
He is going to get my MVP, but I'm going to give my favorite match to the tag match because, both Grey Matter and Act 2 were so awesome. And it was so nice because we got to meet like some more of them after the event as well. And Act 2 they're so lovely in person. If you don't know them, you guys need to get to know them. So I'll give the tag match my match of the night. Tate, you can call me.
Shay, we found out now that, Jaxie and Gina just spent 90 minutes basically having a go at me. And you've realised that now. You thought you were doing serious podcast stuff. No. They're just shouting and swearing. That's all they do. But I will ask you, Shay.
What do you mean? It's Wednesday. This happens every time. It's Wednesday. What are you talking about?
Yes. Yeah, to be fair.
Every day for me.
So, poor Shay. So anyway, about the event. So who would be your MVP of the night and what was your match of the night?
I do want to say the match of the night. I really did enjoy the main event. I'm gonna be a copycat and copy Jaxie just because I was really kind of like gobsmacked with the way it could have gone. Obviously, either one could have won. Obviously, it's 50-50, but it was just so close, and it was just one of those matches that I was like on the edge of my seat, like, oh my god, like what's gonna happen? And I felt for the girl, bless her. I felt for Millie. Like she really did take a beating, and like I said, like she just still got up. My God, like no, I'll be out. I can't be doing it. And I was tired watching her. But yeah, the match of the night, I'd probably say, is the main event.
And the question is as well is interesting because obviously we know Jaxie and Gina are diehard wrestling fans, but has this made you want to go to more wrestling events? If the opportunity was to pop up again, would you maybe be more willing to go?
Oh yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say no. I mean, if I could go and I was available, then yeah, I definitely would want to go. I did enjoy it, and if it wasn't for me being busy this weekend, I would definitely go this weekend. It's just I can't do it, but I 100% would like to go to another one. If they're doing another one, we'll have to keep an eye out.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens and if there are any around the area as well, you know. So
good to get to maybe come to a London event with us, James. Maybe you could meet her one time.
yeah, I can't wait to meet Splits and Punch Tate. That'll be.
But who's your MVP, Shay?
You know what? I think it's because I met them and they were really lovely. I mean, well, I say them because they were a tag team, so I want to give it to Act Two. They were really lovely and down to earth, and I felt for Jack. I really did. He kept on getting battered, but at the same time, part of me wanted to slap him myself because I was like, "You need to get your teammate in, Ben. Like, you need to tag him in." He was constant. No, I'm not joking. He was constantly in there, and I was like, "Fucking tag your friend then." I was like, "I don't understand. what you're it's a tag team match. Get the fuck up and tag him on the hand, or slap his knee, or do something."
Every time he did try, like Ben was pulled down off the top rope at one point.
No, in my opinion, they didn't try hard enough. I'm not interested.
And then you're bashing on it.
But Jaxie, it's difficult to explain. And you say to someone who watch wrestling week in, week out, you go, no, this happens in every tag match. They struggle to get to their partner. Like, it happens. And then the logic is like, but why the fuck don't they just make a tag? They're there.
Yeah, it's me being. It's my first wrestling event. Okay,
exactly.
It's right. It's like people setting up a table and going, "Well, why are you setting up a table?" And you know what I mean, and then leaving it. Like this.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Exactly. No. So, I mean, again, though, this is like perfect to see sort of someone who's not regularly watching wrestling and just kind of seeing their point of view. So you hit some real truths there, but just know this sort of tomfoolery and this fuckery goes alongside tag team wrestling so much that like everyone's itching for that tag until they finally get that tag, you know?
I know, like honestly, the amount of times that I think I almost lost my voice, like shouting at Jack, saying to him, like, "Will you just fucking tag your friend Ben? Like, what the fuck?" Like, I don't think I've sworn so much. Like, just trying to make sure, just like, tag your fucking friend, slap his foot, do something. Like,
Yeah, this is where the wrestling tag came out. This was when we were like, "Oh shit, Shay's getting into this," you know. This was only sort of like the third match, and you know, this is how irate she was already getting. I was like, she's not going to want to see sort of a mainstream like WWE or AEW match with the amount of shit that happens in there. It's called the fucking.
No, but
that's when
even when it's like watching an AEW show and he's like, just imagine Shay going, "Well, where the fuck's the referee? Fucking referee, not fucking. What the fuck? They're not fucking legal, man. What the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck out! Like, what the fucking hell?"
Yeah.
Exactly.
And like when the ref already gets hurt, but then he's like KO'd, and you're like, "Oh, get up!"
Oh my god, yeah. No, I've seen those matches before. And I'm like, "Oh, I could even get back up from that. Like, don't be a fucking pussy." So, yeah.
But anyway, talking about that's not going to be the final note. Don't worry. We'll end it there, everybody. Good night, everybody. No, what we're going to do, Shay. I mean, experience out of 10 for the whole show and all this, like the experience and being there, you know, with your best friends. Like, how did you rate it out of 10? It's tough.
Do you know what? Like, part of me wants to say, I want to give it like a good like 8 or 9. Like, I don't know what's missing, but something's missing to make it feel, maybe because it was like really like Jaxie and Gina said, it was quite intimate. And I think if it was like if it was like a proper like massive event where it was like crowds upon crowds, maybe it like the atmosphere might have been like 100% different. So maybe that would have given like the 10 out of 10 or something. But yeah, like a good like 8 or 9. I really did enjoy myself. I felt a little bit anxious going in because obviously I have no idea. I'm a complete fucking novice. Like, what am I going to bring to this event? I don't know anything. So it was a nice eye opener, and it was fun. It was fun atmosphere. It was good to kind of get engaged, but with the wrestlers as well. It was at first, and I was like, "Oh fuck, he's looking at you!" Like when Tate was when Tate was looking at Gina, I was like, "Oh shit, he put it in. He wants you to call it. Oh shit, this is real." So I was like, I don't know what's happening. What the hell? So it was kind of fun to get like the engagement from the wrestlers as well, and being that close. So yeah, I mean, it made my armpits sweat, definitely.
Well, we'll leave Shay there. We'll move on to Gina. Gina, what would you rate it out of 10?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say the same as Shay. I'd give it a good 9 out of 10. You know, I think if my sister kind of knew some of the wrestlers a little bit more as well, maybe she would have rated it a bit higher. But for her attending an event like this, which is not something she's used to, for her giving it 8 or 9 is very good. Yeah. And just so you know, Shay, when we rate even our AEW or WWE events, it's rare that people get a 10 out of 10. So I think you were really nice. And I think I agree, and I give it a 9 out of 10. I was entertained all throughout. I was excited to learn about each new wrestler that I was about to be introduced to. I even got, someone asking for my number, puts me on a pedestal. So I definitely enjoyed myself. But again, the atmosphere itself was just great. And I think, not just the promotion, but the crowd made it such a great event to attend.
Yeah, I think without doubt, and it does sound that as well. Jaxie, what about you? Finally, out of 10, because usually you're really harsh. You give like 7s and shit.
Yeah. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I do agree. I think if it had been in a bigger venue and had like a lot more people there, I think the atmosphere could have been even better than what it was. Not actually saying that it wasn't though. I do think that the level of wrestling that came from it really opened my eyes up to, sort of the talent we're not seeing on screen. So it was a real eye-opener, and it's something that has allowed me to want to look more into indie wrestling and just support by going to certain events where I can. I am fortunate enough to be based here in London, so that is something that I would like to go into the new year doing, and that is attending more indie shows in person. So that's something on the top of my list. I might not be able to always make the Bristol events like my sisters can, but I shall definitely be looking into more sort of indie wrestling that's based around London, and whether or not I'm able to go to that.
Well, but the thing is, as well, is that we could always do like a battle, like.
Oh, that would be great. That'd be such.
You and I go sank in London, and then a G.
That would be fun. That would be so fun.
Or something like that. You never know.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's always ideas there. Like I said, it's always good to see independent wrestling. And that's it. I mean, aren't we glad we did that show, everybody? I think we are. Don't forget, we're across all social media, Twitter at the WNR Podcast. I'm at the WNR JR. You can find the entire WNR the Twitter banner. Jaxie, where can people find you?
I'm on both Twitter and Instagram at Jaxie Scarlett.
And Gina, if you want certain wrestlers to contact you.
Well, they already know my DMs, but that's going to be on Twitter and Instagram at Purple Pain. And
Shay, have you got like a home address or a phone number you want to give out to anybody or?
Or just stick with the social media handles.
I don't think I'll give them my phone number or address, but I'll give them Instagram. I'll give them my Instagram. Should people want to? I mean, like I said, I'm very much a novice, so it'll be more so fashion on my content. But my Instagram is s_hope and 30.
Well, the WNR are also on Facebook and Instagram across all Google platforms. Send us an email to at gmail.com and YouTube podcast, wherever all the latest clips and podcasts got the same time on YouTube as do SoundCloud on your phone. Also, you can rate. Sorry, do you know what? It's the first time in about 400 episodes I fucked it up. Also, Spotify and iTunes, where you can download, subscribe, rate, and review there. My God. So that is it. Our next episode is Crown Jewel. and that should be Saturday. Gina, don't start, Gina. All right, I know what you're gonna say. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
I'm not. I just have the Leonardo DiCaprio smug face. That's all I've got to say.
Fuck me. Until then, I have been James Rowlands, and I was joined by the fantastic Jaxie Scarlett. See, Jaxie, a little bit of co-hosting. Is all right.
Yeah, we didn't. Well, I mean, I don't feel like I did too badly. So hopefully everyone else were able to keep up with me. Thank you for listening to us, everyone. And thank you for being a great sort of first crowd for introducing our younger sister to our show.
And, of course, the genius of Gina. And, again, always great to everyone. And I don't know if I said happy anniversary. It is 2 years now, Gina. You and I have been together for 2 years.
Thank you for
so
that.
Whoever that wrestler is, go fuck
weird.
off. 2 years we've been together now.
No, it definitely feels weird to know I've been on here for 2 years, but I'm super grateful. So, yeah, thank you.
You're not the newbie anyway. No more newbie. You know, like I said, it's all gone.
Newbie.
You're a vet. No. Grizzled young vet.
I'm going to call Shay the newbie now. Shay's definitely the newbie.
Well, speaking of the WNR's enforcer, we have been joined for the very first time by Shay. Thank you for joining us. I say us as a whole. I'm sure this is by choice rather than being forced to. And I'm talking too much now, but I'm sure you enjoyed yourself.
No, I enjoyed it. It was a good. I've never done a podcast before, so it was good. And you guys were very welcoming, given the fact that it was my sister, so they got to be welcoming. Otherwise, I'll punch them in the throat. But yeah, no, it was really good fun. Thank you so much for having me, and hopefully, I was a good pair of like eyes and knowledge base when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah, no, for you did fantastic
for someone
today.
who is new. Yeah.
No, she did. Like, I'd be horrible to Jaxie and Gina, and deservedly so. But like I said, Shay, it's great to have you on and hear it, another side of it. You know, not being too much into the kind of like, oh, they did this and they did this, and you're just looking and going, why the fuck have they not made a tag? I love it. You know, so that's what we want.
Yeah.
So that is it. Like I said, Crown Jewel next. Thanks for listening, everybody, and bye.